Okay, Alex, nice to have you here in the call. And maybe please introduce yourself briefly, what you're doing, what is your company, and who are you, and what can buy from you from your business?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for the interview. Yeah. My name is Alex. Thank you for having me. I'm the co-founder of Pressmaster. It's an AI tool that helps companies like yours build thought leadership, print content, respond to trends quickly, and run PR campaigns using AI. So that's basically what Pressmaster does.
Great. Alex, a few questions. What challenges did you bring to uSoftware? What was the main challenge before you met us the first time?
Sure. So obviously we took the initial path was almost identical to most of the software companies that are getting founded. We hired an agency, we built the MVP, then we continued working with them. However, we saw a need in from external agencies to having in-house teams. And that's where uSoftware helped us a lot. So we basically transitioned from using external service providers to having our own tech lead, our own mobile developers. Yeah.
Okay, and where did you stand before our cooperation? Yeah, so maybe some key rates, the prices, customer quality. What was the point before we started to work with you and build the dev team for you?
Sure. So the first project was basically just getting people helping us quickly build something, what we call the MVP. But then we quickly realized that while the team that we worked with, they were great. There's a difference between having an in-house team and having an external service provider. And one of the main things that we realized is that we're able to control the quality standards way better. So that was one of the major reasons why we moved. So before it was more like, hey, let's build something quickly just for the sake of launching the MVP, getting the user feedback. So we didn't really pay attention to, obviously we paid attention to quality, but it was all about speed. And the more we got close to having things under control, setting our own quality standards, that was basically the point, the initial starting point where we realized, okay, we might have to move on to build our own team up. We started with the first tech lead, who's now for over a year with Pressmaster, which we consider being part of the core team. And we expanded to the mobile developers as well.
Okay, got you. And what goals did you pursue in the new collaboration with uSoftware in the short term and also in the long term?
Sure. So one of the key things that were very important for us, and we also got the feeling like that was the right decision from day one, was that we can trust that we get team members that are capable of what we're looking for, right? Because the problem that I faced in the past was that we had great service providers with great offers and breakdowns. Everything looked fine. And indeed, it was fine, but never could be 100% sure those people that are working on the project are actually meeting our quality standard. So this resulted in basically having to switch and iterate the team more than 2 times. So we had to replace developers, request new ones. And one of the key things that we realized with uSoftware was that our first hire was basically the perfect hire, was matching the team, matching the expectations, and more important, was able to adapt to us quickly. So that's something that led us to basically proceed also with the other developers.
Yeah. And which of your goals did you already achieve and how could we help in that goals?
Sure. So there are 2 things. The first one is since both founders are not developers itself, right? One of our main goals was to have someone in our team we can integrate into what we call core team at Pressmaster. So that was that was very important for us, which I think we achieved with uSoftware. So the very first hire is actually now part of the core team at Pressmaster. And the other part was we had to quickly develop our mobile app. We had to move on very quickly from designing the MVP, the mobile version, to building up the team and then starting the execution. At uSoftware Basic was providing us the 2 developers that we needed. I think 3 or 4 weeks. Just to give some context, we have March, February 25. We made the decision mid-December to start developing the app. We had January first developer joining and end of January the second one. And the MVP is getting launched now in February. We were basically able from making the decision in December to having the team build up in January, mid-January, to launching the mobile version in February. And that was the second point that was very important for us, which is speed, and not just speed, but also trusting that while maintaining the speed, the quality of the team members we're getting is meeting the high quality stuff. These are basically the 2 points. Trusting that the people that we're getting are really who they are based on how they're getting pitched, the experience level, as well as the speed of hiring.
Okay. And how do you feel about working with uSoftware and your team?
To be honest, which is actually a good thing, we don't really. So the good thing about working with uSoftware is that we actually don't talk that much, which is a good thing, right? Because everything works in the back. So I can share a lot. And the only thing I can share is that we actually talk maybe every 2, 3, 4 weeks, which is a good sign. Our team members are happy. Everything looks good. We basically don't feel any of the problems like the paperwork or any of those things, to be honest. So the only thing that we know working with uSoftware is basically having the onboarding, sharing what we need, and that's it basically. So we don't have to handle anything else, which is a good sign. So I will say the experience working with uSoftware is actually not really feeling that there is administration behind everything, which is a very important point for us as well.
And how long did it take to get the first the first candidates for the team?
Sure. Our tech lead, I think it was 4 weeks, 5 weeks. And again, our tech lead, it was our first in-house hire. Our tech lead, it took 4 to 5 weeks, and he's still with Pressmaster. And the mobile developers, I think we got the first CVs within the first 2 weeks, and we closed the hire with also actually 4 to 5 weeks.
And why with uSoftware? How is uSoftware different from similar offerings on the market, like other outsourcing companies or freelancers?
Sure. So the problem, again, the outsourcing company we work with, obviously everyone is doing their job. Everyone is doing a great job. But again, one of the main things that are different and visible is that it's a difference between working with having your team in-house where you can set the speed, you can set the expectations, you can set the standards. There's a difference between having an in-house team where you can set everything and having service providers where you feel, okay, they're part of the team, but they're not really at any time. Maybe it's a key member that worked on the project for 5 months, and then the key member has to switch to another one, which is a big pain. So it's not having our experience with working with external providers is that we don't really, while we get the feeling like we're under control, we actually don't really are under control, only to a certain level. So the main difference is here being able to control the key points. And when it comes to hiring, so uSoftware was basically our first and only choice, to be fair. So it's not like we worked where I started. We didn't work yet with multiple outsourcing companies together. But yeah, based on the experience, I know like we don't question use. And that's a big point. Like we don't question the CVs we're receiving. We're not questioning the deadline. We know we have a short deadline. Let's say we need to start the project within 4 weeks. We actually know that uSoftware can be the team members that we need within that specific time frame. Yeah, we haven't looked at for other outsourcing providers.
Okay. And Alex, what would you say to someone considering uSoftware as a future partner?
Also, one of the major benefits of uSoftware is that as a startup, especially as a company that aims to move fast, the last thing you need is paperwork, is wasting time with people that start working on the project and quit in 2 months after the onboarding, or going back and forth with different sources. If you're a company, a startup that aims to move fast, have trust that the team members are capable of delivering what you're expecting, the uSoftware is the best choice because you guys provided us the team members that we needed at the speed that we needed. And one of the main benefits that I also like about uSoftware is that we can take over the team. Right. It's like we just, based on how the contracts are structured with us, at least, is that we can take over the teams, which is a good thing, right? So we basically have the speed, the benefit of implementing fast, getting candidates fast, onboarding them into the project, not having to manage all the paperwork, but then also being able to take over the team. Yeah, uSoftware is basically companies and startups that want to move fast without wasting time.
Great, Alex. The last question, is there anything else you would like to say about uSoftware? Maybe you got some.
Another thing that I personally really like is the diversification. Like most outsourcing companies you have, and they're all great. You have outsourcing companies in Poland, Ukraine, German ones, Indian ones, South American ones. One of the main benefits that I personally really like with uSoftware is that you guys are not narrow, right? You're not just in Ukraine, Poland, but you also have candidates in Romania, in other parts of Europe, in South America. So that always gives us the feeling like we're not trying to outsource from just a very specific region, but we're also capable of outsource across the globe, which is just beneficial for us as well.
Okay, Alex. Thank you very much for your time. And hopefully we stay in touch for a long time and do a good job for you. And yeah, we'll grow with you together and we will see what happened in the future. Thank you.